which is
Either of us. They got it, either of us. All fixed.
Oh, we're
Here
back.
we go.
Yeah, arms up in celebration. So
Yes.
we'll cycle that back. Do you want to take us back to that one, Tom?
Well, of course, the first intro of the season that I've nailed, and I've got no sound. Welcome everybody to RSC EU. It's been a very successful RSC10, and we're here for the final week of fixtures, and we're here for the master play-ins between Dojon and Ocean. And well, the question I asked Solar before all of the issues started to happen was how excited we are for this final week of fixtures. Of course, it's been an incredible season, and Master Tier always delivers. Premier is up soon as well. And well, just general thoughts on the last couple of fixtures we've got here.
Yeah, I mean, it's sure to be a good weekend in Rocket League, as obviously we've worked our way through each play-in, each tier. You get higher up. The quality of Rocket League tends to get better and better as we go. We are starting with the play-ins, so the teams that sort of finished middle of the ground in that league play, and then we will be, of course, sort of tackling some of the upper bracket as well as the evening goes on. Same again tomorrow, and just as the tournament progresses, we'll go along through the weekend as well. It should be a very, very good one coming up between Dojon and Ocean coming up here. But to my understanding, Galmo Esports Ocean are without Alanis tonight.
Broken controller, I think I heard, which has forced them to have a substitute in, and that's not how you want to start the play-ins in the round one. Already having a substitute going on, frustration on their side. But do you think either of these teams have a chance of going on to win the grand final, or do you think they're just here to make up the numbers?
I mean, after my extensive experience of casting, I mean, I've been doing this for nearly 4 years. Rocket League's never cut and dry. There's nothing simple about it. So, yes, a lower bracket run is certainly possible. They're not uncommon. It's a long slugfest. But as it goes on and double elimination is involved and things like that, the tendency is the later on it gets, if you drop down into that sort of lower bracket, or in the sort of sense of the play-in rounds, there can be a case where you can just swept out. It is more often likely to happen than not. So a good start to that can certainly set you on your way, but there's a little bit of bias. I do play for Symbiotes in ERS, so I kind of have to just give them a little bit of bias on the side of things. But at the end of the day, it is anyone's game.
The winner of this best of 5 series, of course, goes on to play Abyss in match 3. That is in 2 hours time. Oh no, 1 hour time. I should say it's 2100 CEST. So that's in about 50 minutes time. So we better get on with it. I hazard to say we might be ready to tell the players to join up, Solar. We can get straight into this.
Don't want to keep them waiting too much longer, of course. Shaman will be playing in the blue, Galamo in that lovely pink-red hue that I'm seeing. Very pretty colours on the field. It's a nice little contrast there as well. Here you, Dader and Flo lining up for Shaman. Faxon. Alanis is here. Problem resolved by the looks of things, and Marvels in the end. So I was going to say, if we were going to do projections, Galamo would be quite up against it without Alanis, but she's on the field, so I think I may have to sway their way.
Dojon in the blue and Ocean in the red. Immediately Hyrule trying to bring it down the right-hand side. Can't quite make any early inroads in this Mazda tier. Round 1 playing. This time the ball bounces back out down into Ocean territory. Faxon trying to bring this forward. Hyrule ready to receive back into the centre, looking for Flo. The shot comes in, but Mons is off of the line. Flo keeping this alive though, down to the right hand side. Alanis able to get it away, but Hyrule and Didier able to bring it back forward, try and build an attack. Looks for the redirect Didier, but Marvel's able to get it clear. 40 seconds into the game, and we are starting to see Dojon being on top. But the question is, can they convert this into any goals?
Yeah, lovely little infield passing display that started us out. Thought they may have created a chance for themselves, but Ocean have stood strong so far. Positive signs from Shaman. They've still not let up here either, and an opening goal here could be vital. Just all that pressure, you want it to come to something. And if it doesn't, if for some reason Galmo Esports Ocean break out their half, get a quick counter, it can be a detrimental start to this series.
Marvels able to bring this away, trying to make inroads into this midfield, able to get forward. Faxon brings it back forward into the centre, looks for Didier. Doesn't look for Didier, I should say. Didier does get it clear regardless though, but keeping this ball alive into the centre, trying to find a teammate. Flow this time, able to bring it away. A nervy start in these play-ins. Alani is now downfield, trying to look for Faxon. Going into the centre once more, can't find a teammate. Didier there, able to clear it away, but still alive here. Marbles with a shot, and it's a huge save off of the line by Hyru, but still alive here. Alanis can't quite get the beating of Flow. Faxon putting it back in to the centre. Didier once more, getting this clear. Absolute storm of pressure being weathered by Dojon at the moment. Down the right-hand side goes Flow, into the centre now for Didier, trying to go on the counter-attack. Does go on the counter-attack, but it's just off of the post. Hyru on the follow-up. Gets the goal, and Ocean will be feeling so frustrated at that.
Yeah, two very long extended periods of pressure traded by the teams there. I thought that there'd be a way through there for Ocean. They had Dojon on very, very low boost, but worked the ball clear, waited for their opportunity and took it when Ocean were just sort of rotating back. They were still trying to find their rotations. A bit of a double commit involved in the first save, and no real recovery could be made in the end. 1-0 the scoreline, half the game to go, but both teams still very much fighting for true control of this game.
Leader gets demoed, and that just really upset a little bit. Alanis also got demoed though, so no harm, no foul. Back forward comes Hyru. Alanis now trying to go into the centre, looking for a teammate, can't find a teammate. D-Day once again tries to get this cleared, does get it cleared down the right hand side into Flow, trying to get the beating of Marbles. Can't quite do it at the moment. They're trying to extend this 1-goal lead, and 1-goal lead is all they need, of course. Into the centre once more. Faxon trying to bring it forward. D-Day going to have to go up for the aerial onto Hyru off of his back wall. Gets it back up, looking for Flow. Marbles though having a bit of an opportunity if he can just wriggle his way through the defence. He can't, and now suddenly an attack for Dojon goes into the centre. An aerial from Marvels trying to bring it forward. An air dribble, tries to get the beating of Flow, does get the beating of Flow, and that is a superb solo goal.
Yeah, fantastic effort there from Marvels. Reads that bounce perfectly, just bides his time, sees Flow up, slots it underneath a ground pinch just to take it away from rotating Dojon players. 1-1 the scoreline, all to play for in a hotly contested game number 1.
Hyru going back forward, trying to get back into the lead here. Finds D-Day now into the centre. There is a teammate there for Flow. Flow tries to get the shot off, but Marvel's there, able to equal it. Faxon now with a real opportunity. There's no one back at the moment. Gets the pinch. It's a beautiful pinch, and the shot on goal. D-Day able to get the save, and that will go on his statistics as well. Faxon trying to keep the ball alive, can't quite do so. D-Day trying to get the beating of Marvels. Again, it bounces back out into the centre for Hyru to clear. Faxon now trying to go back forward down this right-hand side sidewalk. D-Day gets demoed, but it gives Hyru a chance for redirect again, just not quite able to tuck it home. Still evenly poised here. 40 seconds to go. It's in the centre for D-Day with the shot. D-Day just about misses that one, and Marvels with a huge save for another demo on Flow this time. A good piece of play from Alanis. No one in the centre really. Faxon's going to try and get the shot off, but D-Day has to clear. Still 1-1 with 30 seconds to go. Alanis with a shot, however, if Flow does very well once more.
Yeah, big chance there for Alana. She's not quite taking it, but a good level of pressure here from Ocean. Just need to bide their time. That's a ball side rotation for Faxon. We'll get away with it though, and 10 seconds left. Could well be going to overtime, but there's a chance for Marvels. No, drop down. Big chances for Ocean to close this out late on. There's one more, and Alanis has put it high. That is a huge chance, the biggest one yet. One more Marvels, big save from Dider. Unbelievable that Dojon have held on for OT.
Well, last time they were under such a storm of pressure, they went up the other end and scored. So let's see how overtime goes. Down the right-hand side goes Faxon into Alanis, trying to, again, create an attack, trying to pick up where they left off. Almost did. Dida with a huge save in this first overtime. Game 1, Faxon back into the centre. Dida clears it off the backboard into Alanis, trying to go into the centre. Surely now for Alanis, goes into a teammate. Marvels finally gets the goal. 23 seconds into overtime. Ocean did not make it easy for themselves, but they do get the game won.
I really like that work from Alanis there. She picks the ball up. It's a good catch, carries it through just that gap between a couple of players. But what I really liked about it was the fact that she recognised the net was open, but she didn't snatch at the chance. She played it patiently. She brought that middles and set Marvels up really, really nicely. Ocean, I would say deserving of that first game win, but it's so close between these teams. They've got to take their chances, and maybe Ocean should do that a little bit better. 12 shots from them, just the 2 converted to Dojon's 6. Still, game win is a game win. It puts them one step closer to that round 2 match against Shadow Esports Abyss.
Well, Marvels with the 2 goals there, the brace able to take the team to the victory. Forbidden Temple up next. However, a new challenge against Dojon's side that will be looking to get back into this game very quickly indeed. We're about to get kicked off here. And just how important is this game too?
Absolutely massive in the context of things. Best of 5s can be over a lot quicker than you know it, and you can't get your momentum going back in game number 2. You're ultimately having to deny a sweep and force a reverse sweep yourself. It's a hard old task. Getting a response in game 2 can be absolutely vital, and Dojon are going to have to do just that.
Dida down the left-hand side, tries to make some inroads early on into the centre. Hyru surely with a chance. It just bounces awkwardly, stays in the air. Alanis eventually able to get it clear, gets the save credit as well. Back forward now, Ocean trying to create a bit of an opportunity, but it just goes into more defensive quarters. A good demo on Alanis, but Faxon there able to recollect. Flow now with the shot off of the backboard, looks for teammate. Hyru plays it back to D-Day, but the ball bounces back up and goes back down the other end for Flow to recollect in the corner. Go forward on the air dribble, trying to create something, gets past Faxon, finds Hyru, and now surely a chance for Dojon into the centre, and a good save from Marvels. Dida back, keeping this ball alive. Alanis with a real chance now though, back up the other end. Hyru going to have to recollect. 1 minute and 15 seconds gone, and still nothing in between these two teams apart from that game 1.
Yeah, it's a positive start from Shaman Esports here. They've really turned things around. They might have been down after losing so early on in OT as well, but they've been asking the questions, pushing forward. Harry can't turn that one in though, but they've had the better of the pressure. They've had the better chances. Just need to find that way through. Keep it up. They'll get their just rewards. They can look to tie up this series.
Into the centre, looks to create the first opportunity. Alanis with a huge takeaway. Now trying to go for the air dribble over the top of almost everyone and off the backboard this time. Dida going back forward. Faxon puts it back into the centre. Hyru able to clear. Looks for Dida, who might be able to create some form of opportunity here. Marvels turning through the air. Can't quite get to it. Now into the centre. Hyru surely off of the backboard once more. Dida on the follow-up. And Faxon once again gets it clear. Flow keeping this alive as we approach half distance in this game 2. It's still 0-0 here. Of course, it is Ocean who have the lead in terms of games in this best of 5. Dojon just keeping it tight at the moment, and perhaps they need to get a score on the board quite quickly here. Flow now trying to go down the right-hand side into the centre. Looks for D-Day. D-Day brings it forward, but there's no one up for Dojon. And now Alan is trying to bring this back forward. Can't quite do so. There's a 50-50. Finds Marvels, however. And a big demo on Faxon. And Alanis is going to create a huge amount of space back in the opposing half, but Flo can't quite capitalise, and it's still so close. Hyru with a chance, however, looks for the double tap, can't find it. D-Day with the follow-up. D-Day finally with the follow-up, able to get the goal away.
Any good player will tell you that doesn't happen instantly in Rocket League. A play 10, 15 seconds earlier can be the cause. Those two demos that sent Galamo back into their own half, left them strapped for a boost. It's exactly what eventually created that opportunity. Alanis unable to get up to make the save. A lack of boost in the tank. But just 11 seconds later, Galamo Esports Ocean answer back.
It just happens sometimes where all of a sudden your flow gets disrupted by that goal and you end up conceding at the other end as well. The floodgates well and truly opened, and perhaps a little bit more expansion here, particularly on the scoreline. D-Day going to win the kickoff. However, Alanis is going to be the one who able to get it away down the right-hand side. But now Flo bringing it forward. Paxton back forward. Can't quite find anyone. D-Day with all to do, however. A good save in the end. Hyru trying to get this ball back forward. Flo in the end is the one who gets the touch off into the Ocean half now. And it's going to be Alanis who tries to recollect and rebuild the attack. Gets the beating of Hyru. Can't get the beating of Flo. And now just the ebb and flow of this game starting to be a huge factor here as they settle back in. Marvels with the shot. Surely now it's a good save by Flo. But a minute to go and still nothing between the two sides.
Yeah, it's very tough to call at the moment. It's a nigh-on replica of game number 1. It was Sharon taking the lead. That is a beautiful finish from Alanis, though. Out on that left-hand side, cuts in, rattles the crossbar on its way in, and she's giving Galamo a lead in regulation.
And it's a big lead. 55 seconds to go, a lead that could perhaps, and a goal that could perhaps change the complexion of this series. 2-0 looks a lot better than 1-0, but looking for a double tap off of the backboard. Flo can't quite do this, and now again keeping this alive. They're still weathering the storm. Our Ocean Marvel's trying to bring it forward once again, and it's still alive for Dojon here. Still alive, but not quite alive enough. With 30 seconds to go, Flo now trying to desperately get this back into the opposing half. It bounces back up for Alanis, trying to put this game to bed. Can't quite find a second touch off of the backboard. Faxon back forward. There's going to be a double demolition between Alanis and Flo. D-Day gets it forward. Faxon with it all to do is calm and composed. 12 seconds to go, and all of a sudden Dojon is starting to feel that this series could get away from them. Hyru back to this left-hand side wall. Looks for D-Day, who's trying to get this ball up. Gets past Alanis. Really needs this now. 2 seconds to go. Pops up onto the floor. No one is there to turn it home. Ocean get the victory, and it's 2-0.
Very, very close, and it's just those defining moments that could settle the series between these two teams. Again, I think Shaman did a very, very good job, just unable to convert their chances. Galamo, more shots in the end, but it didn't seem like they were particularly on top. Shaman had the better chances, really should have taken them, just unable to convert. 2-0 down, requiring a reverse sweep to stop their season from ending here against Galamo Esports Ocean. But again, it's a 1-goal game. They're not out of it yet. It's just that mentality factor, converting those chances, staying on the ball, keeping the rotation and the pressure up, and giving themselves those chances once again. Because when we saw that pressure come through, that double demo that they then managed to eventually capitalize on, they were looking very, very good. They were patient, they waited for their chance, and they took it. They got their goal, they got the lead. They've had the lead both times in this series, but ultimately given it away in the end. Find themselves 2-0 down and really, really having to turn things around.
They certainly are. I've just got a couple of issues on my end. It wasn't my end in the end. As we're ready to get back underway here. And, Potter's game's crashed, I'm afraid to say. So we've got a slight break in play here. And, I suppose the question I wanted to ask, I thought we were going to run out of time. But how do you approach now going about a reverse sweep solo?
I think we've got to take into account the physical plays, because that's where Shaman's goal came from. And beyond that, there wasn't too much of it. It helps keep that pressure on. It takes the boost away. It damages the rotations. It breaks them up. And it really gives you that opportunity to continually pile that pressure on. Whether you're sat about the halfway line, sending that ball to the backboard, whether you're getting in close, playing 50-50s, getting those demos, those bumps, anything you can do to make that more difficult is going to help in the long run. We need to see that a little bit more from them. And something that we haven't seen particularly much throughout the series from either team is the infield passing as well. It's a lot of backboard plays, waiting for the opportunities. But if you can get a good pass off, you can really catch a team out. If it's quick, if it's on point, and they can get that shot away, then you're really looking at a good opportunity there. So there's two avenues for Shaman to go down. I'm just looking for something different, a different play style, something that Gallimore may not be expecting. For me, it would be the demo play. If that's not working, then you've got to look elsewhere. But there was proof in the punch. It got them that opening goal in Game 2, and it's going to be a way forward in Game 3, for me personally, for this Shaman team.
Well, we're back getting into the lobby now, ready to go for this Game 3. A game where all of a sudden Ocean find themselves on match point, staring down the barrel of a sweep here. And they would so much like it, as we're already a little bit delayed from the stream. So they need all of the rest they can get ahead of the next series that starts in 35 minutes time. Here we go, underway then for Game 3 here of this series. Ocean on the cusp of getting into round 2 of these play-ins, but D-Day immediately on the front foot for the Dojon side. Marvel's able to get it back downfield, which is very interesting early on. Into the centre, looking for a teammate, can only find Hyrule in the end, who tries to bring it back forward. Alanis puts a challenge in, goes back into an infield pass, but actually in the end it's a rather good assist into D-Day for Faxon with an equally as good save.
Yeah, it's a really well placed shot there, Faxon, with a half flip just to steal that one away from that bottom right hand corner of his net. It's not a great touch from Alanis. You can see what she was trying to do on the rotation back. She's trying to force that as far as she can into that back left hand corner and allow Ocean to move forward again. They've got the opening goal this time around though. Marvels again, star of the show, goes up, flip reset, doesn't make contact, but Alanis, that sort of magician play where you're looking over in one direction, the real trick is happening elsewhere. 1-0.
Well, I think anyone would take a failed flip reset as an intentional deceptive play. But Alanis trying to make it 2 this time. Flo is able to get it clear. Marbles going back forward. Alanis can't quite get the touch into the centre, but Marbles can still bring it forward. Can't get the double tap of the post and goes forward trying to find Hyrule. Or does find Hyrule accidentally. Flo now with the shot. Hyrule on the line, but Faxon able to get it clear. There's nothing really Hyrule could have done there. He was well in front of the ball. Flo now with the shot, and it's off the post.
That is a big, big chance. He strikes that very well. I can see why he'd be aiming for that bottom left-hand corner, but just to overcompensate on it. The power was enough to beat the last defender. Not taken. Again, Shaman Esports just struggling to take their chances. A few more of those on net. Could well have ran away with a couple of these games, unable to convert. Still down by a goal.
Right hand side, attack Ocean, but D-Day goes back forward. Flo now with the chance into the centre, looks for Hyrule, can't find Hyrule. Didier is still up there. Faxon with that goal lead, able to win the 50-50 and hamper their progress. Marbles now with a very important block in the air. Hyrule trying to keep this alive off of the sidewall. Flo doesn't want to overcommit, doesn't need to overcommit, and now able to weather a little bit of a defensive storm for a moment. Didier back forward, looks for the shot, can't find the shot. Marvels once again able to get it forward down his left hand side into the centre now for Flo, trying to keep this game, keep this series alive from a Dojon perspective. Something that is proving rather difficult for them. A staunch defence for Ocean, you'd say, but a demolition might just open up the space. Alan is now back downfield. There's no one home. Surely for Faxon. Absolutely surely for Faxon. 1 foot in the round 2 here of the play-ins for Ocean. Faxon was never missing that.
Faxon's first goal of the series, and it's going to be as easy as you like for that one. 2-0 up. It's concerning for me because we haven't seen Shaman come back from a Galamo lead. Of course, game 1 ending in overtime. It's not quite justified there, and only a minute to recover really in game number 2. But game 3, they're down by 3 goals. 2 minutes to go. It's doable in that sense, but so far Shaman have only scored 1 goal a game. They need at least 3 here, 4 to win it ultimately.
Frustrating for Dojon, as surely they have to think that there is no way back from here. They've got to still play and they've got to try their best, but really they're staring down a defeat here. Is back down the field trying to put tools into the wound. Is Marvels, can't quite do so. Did he have forward? Alanis able to bring it away. Into the centre though, Hyru going to get the touch away. Again, is saved off of the line. Alanis back forward and now trying to add salt into the wound. Doesn't just add salt into the wound, pours the whole tub into the wound, and he's 4-0 down.
It's so fitting that she's got that salt shaker banner on there as well. You can't see it on stream, of course. We can see it from the booth, but that's a devastating one. It does seem like this series is going to be over. Shaman have not offered enough going forward to suggest that they're going to get 2 goals in this game, let alone 4 to send it to overtime in the remaining 1 minute and 20 seconds that we have left. They are all but done here. Their season is likely over in a minute and 10 seconds time. A dominant game 3 here from Galamo Esports Ocean, sending a statement out to Shadow Esports Abyss, who are waiting for them in that round 2 match.
Marvels tries to go down the right hand side, can't find any inroads. Hyru with an infield pass trying to, well, have some fleeting hopes of keeping this game alive. Has a real chance here. Alani's onto the line, just with a not really important save, but I suppose trying to not let them build any momentum for a spectacular comeback here is still quite important. Marvels now getting this clear. 30 seconds to go. I think it's going to be Ocean who are progressing, and I also don't think I'm getting many medals to that prediction.
No, I don't think so. It's going to be a 5th as well. Alanis gets a hat-trick in game number 3 to cap off a near perfect performance from them. Just one mistake off the top of my head from them their entire series long, and that was the opener in game number 1. A little double commit in front of net gave Hiryu his only goal of this series. 18 seconds left. It's done. The fat lady has sung. Dider can't hit the double, and that one's not even going to creep in there from Flo. It's just not happened for Shaman on the day. Galamo, the better team, they do move on. Marvels is already gone. He's seen enough. He's not got a goal this game. He's not going to be caring. 3-0 sweep there for Galamo Esports Ocean. They move on in the master play-in bracket.
Well, unfortunately, Dojon not at the races today. They have to go home. A 5-0. Probably not what they expected, let's say, and probably not representative of how they played in those first 2 games. But Ocean are the ones who are going to progress. They're going to play Abyss, and they've got to get ready because they've only got 25 minutes to get this sorted. However, what do you think caused that utter collapse in that final game from Dojon solely?
I think the pressure just got to them a little bit in the end. I think they realised the position they were in, the chances that they maybe missed in the past 2 games. It's all a mental game in the end. And when you start getting into your own head, it's very, very easy for the other team to start creeping in with their presence as well. It was a strong offensive performance. The pressure was perfect, but I think once they got their 2 maybe 3 goals, they realised that they had Chamonix Sports exactly where they wanted them, and that Gallimore could then just sort of wait for their chances, just play a patient defensive game, hit them on the counter when they really were stretched and pressing for goals. Ultimately, I think Game 3 was just a conclusion and a result of what had happened in the previous 2 games. 2 one-goal games where they did take the lead, failed to build on that, and ultimately failed to hold on to it in the end as well. Architects of their own downfall, really, in terms of poor shooting.
And, I'm going to give our good streamer tonight, Potter, a little bit of a break, as both players and casters, of course, have got another game coming up. I believe me and you, Solar, are popping off and making way, but Abyss versus Ocean is the date. It's happening in 25 minutes' time. Don't go anywhere. We thank you all very much for watching this first part of the stream, and we'll see you in about 25 minutes' time. Good night.
I'm kind of glad you didn't pick up. I kind of just called to hear your voice. I miss you. I've been thinking about you, and I've been thinking about our love, and how much I miss you. I miss being around you, hearing your laugh and holding your hand. I think of you every day. I hope and I wish that you're doing okay. I want us to go back to the old days, because I miss you, and I just thought of you. The idea of you listening to this, the thought of you on the other side of the line, I can't hang up. I don't want this to end. Not again. I don't know if you miss me too, but I hope you do. Even if things never go back to what we were, what I became so used to, what I thought would be forever.
Hey, Mr. Bully, won't you just see right through me? dying days when I ask for forgiveness or myself. Hey, Mr. Bully, what you think when you push me out of my own head where everything made sense? Breathing in the lies that keep me open from the truth that keeps me holding on to your lies. Where do you think you'll find me when you destroy what is inside me? I'll carry on. Say it's over when nothing's closer to what you're fighting for. Fade away from where we've been. I close the chapter where I'm ripping out my pages. Stop the fire under my skin. Oh, light the blaze again that stood alive for ages. Breathing in the lies that keep me open from the truth that keeps me holding on to your lies. Where do you think you'll find me when you destroy what is inside me? I'll carry on. I'll carry on. I'll carry on. I'll carry on. I'll carry
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up. just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight.
I can't stop, this feeling's taking over me. 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 You're feeling me, I hope you're feeling me. You're feeling me, I hope you're feeling me. You're feeling me, I hope you're feeling me. You're feeling me, I can't stop. You're feeling me, I hope you're feeling me. You're feeling, you're feeling me. You're feeling me, I hope you're feeling me. You're feeling, I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. This feeling's taking over me. I can't stop. This feeling's taking over me. I can't stop. You're feeling me, I hope you're feeling me. You're feeling me, I hope you're feeling me. You're feeling me, I hope you're feeling me. You're feeling me, I can't stop. You're feeling me, I hope you're feeling me. You're feeling, you're feeling me. You're feeling me, I hope you're feeling me. You're feeling, I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop.
Can I be your star tonight? You fill my soul with light the day we met. I don't wanna leave your side, no. Have me by your side when the sun sets. I hope you'll still want me, I hope you'll still need me a million years from now. The seasons are changing, the nights ever fading. It's time we left the ground. Let's leave for an eternity. Sail across the lights beyond the sky. I'll be with you eternally. Hiding for your love that keeps me high, keeps me high. Can I be your star tonight? You fill my soul with light the day we met. I don't wanna leave your side, no. Have me by your side when the sun sets. Let's leave for an eternity. We'll sail across the lights beyond the sky. I'll be with you eternally. I'm an addict for your love, it keeps me high, keeps me high.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the RSC Master Play-ins. I am joined by Psycho on this fine evening for round 2 of tonight's games. We've just seen round 1 where Ocean took down Dogon 3-0. It was a bit of a crushing defeat really, and Dogon dropping out of that lower bracket. And now in the next phase of the lower bracket, Abyss have been waiting and Ocean are here to meet them. Psycho, how are you feeling about this one?
I'm feeling great, and the matchup we've got on display, you know what? I'm hoping it's not as much of a demanding victory for one of these teams as we saw prior, just to fully flesh out some games for you all tonight. But these two teams on paper seem to be very even, but in terms of their recent history and their recent consistency, there is definitely some discrepancy in these two teams. Ocean and Abyss, Ocean of course being your 4th seed from the Ignis Conference, and Abyss your 5th from Glassy.
Other way around, mate.
Is it? Have I got my facts wrong?
Abyss 4th in Ignis and Ocean 5th in Glassies. You are half
abysmal.
right. Just do a little switcheroo there. But yeah, as you say, very even matchup. Abyss on 36 wins and 36 losses for the season, compared to Ocean's 38 to 34. So Ocean's slightly ahead on paper there. But one stat I do want to draw attention to, which I was quite confused by, Abyss finished 4th in Ignis, but scored 133 and conceded 165. So 32 goals more conceded than scored, but somehow still managing to finish in the top half of that table. On the other hand, Ocean scoring 156, conceding 146. So I think the way that I'm teeing this up, Ocean's stronger on paper. Their last 5 results have been better as well. 3 wins, 2 draws. 4 wins, 2 draws if you count that previous victory in round 1 that we've just seen. Abyss, however, only 2 wins, 2 losses and a draw. Also, their last game of league play was a 3-1 loss to Dogon, who Ocean have just swept 3-0. So Ocean are the team that I'm leaning towards at the moment. Before we actually get into the gameplay, I'm interested to see which way you're leaning, Psycho.
And you know what? I have to follow suit. I think Ocean just have the upper hand just based off of their recent form primarily, and also their peak performance and their capabilities, if you like. Certainly a team with just a little bit more to give, it seems, from the statistical point of view. But nevertheless, Orion, this is the lower bracket and we are in round 2 of the play-ins. So these two teams, it's a slightly different environment to what they usually operate in.
Yeah, exactly. League play, that extended format, 72 games over the course of the season. So it all comes down to this one series now. Both teams are on their last life in the lower bracket. Only one of them will advance to the playoffs. Both teams have joined now, and we will get into the opening stages of Game 1.
And away we are under, nice and early, as Josh looking for an open net in the early seconds. Now, Ryan, I wasn't exactly expecting to say that, but there's often some early game woes, if you like, from each teams as they sort of warm into one another, and Abyss certainly going to capitalise on that.
Yeah, very early goal, 7 seconds, but I don't think that's really going to dictate the entirety of Game 1 here. We'll get into some more exchanges and try and get a bit more of a fully fleshed out game. Well, through from Alanis, and thought Josh was going to put that into his own net there, but thankfully avoiding the target which he was trying desperately not to aim for. Alanis sending another one long and chasing forwards, hunting down players, hunting down the ball. Haven't seen her any less than supersonic so far, and I'm told Psycho that is exactly the play style that we can expect to see from her.
Absolutely, and this Ocean team on paper, at least from my experiences playing and watching some of these players on the Ocean side play, is one of a very aggressive nature, and Alanis is definitely a player to recognise in that department, a player who's very demo heavy and also super aggressive with those lunging challenges and incredibly mechanical as well, it must be said. So surely you would think that would have an effect on the way these two teams can be matching up against one another, but nonetheless it seems to be a relatively dominant start for Abyss as they just keep throwing shots towards the net, none of them particularly doing much damage in these early stages, but the possession game certainly favouring them.
Yeah, well, oh my word, what an angle from Josh there at the near post. I was just about to talk about the pressure that Abyss had been putting up, and finally comes to a head as Josh with a cute little wave dash at the near post, getting that negative angle. Finally, the defense cracked. There were all three players from Ocean at some points there that were just sat in front of the net and trying to block every single pot shot that Abyss was taking. Finally, the defense cracked. They have doubled their lead here, have Abyss. Very good start to this game one as shot not coming through. Marvel's able to turn it to the side as well, but Alanis doesn't have the boost to deal with it. Marvel's opting to take it slow. Probably a good decision because the clear would have just been giving away possession. A bump at the other end now and a beautifully worked counter-attack. Staying in possession there from Marvel's was the decision that facilitated that attack, and Can's really not getting a good touch. Sets up Faxon for the shot, and one back for Ocean, their first goal in the series.
Well, it only took us just under 2 minutes, and we're already seeing the full extent of Ocean's play style and perhaps their game plan going into this round number 2 of the lower bracket in play-ins. So far, I have to say, Abyss looking like the dominating force, looking like the team to be beaten early on, as the only real attack and the real piece of presence that Ocean have showed on the pitch so far was that goal they just tucked in.
Yeah, I do have to counter with that and say it's been a pretty even affair, barring that goal that went in after only 7 seconds and almost Faxon there, blocked on the line by Josh. So I think we're in for a good series. I think that's what the early signs are telling me. My Game 5 senses aren't quite tingling just yet. I'll let you know if they wake up at any point, but very closely fought. You can see that Ocean are the ones that are trying to be the aggressors, but I feel like sometimes that might just come back to hurt them. You know, you can over-aggress and be a bit too over-keen to get forward and score those goals and create opportunities, and sometimes that can hurt you, but we'll see how the series continues to play out. Right now, it is 2-1 in Game 1 to Abyss, and as you say, they do look to be comfortable and pretty much in the driving seat as things stand at the moment.
Yeah, and you know what, almost on cue, Orion, when you were saying that it was more of an even affair than I made it out to be, Ocean have been putting on their own spells of possession and firmly keeping the ball rooted in this blue half, as Alanis is going to try and work some of her magic. Not going to happen on that occasion, as Josh over to the sidewall is able to follow up nicely with a double touch, and Facton is only going to recycle possession back to the Wolves that have come hunting, as Josh narrowly misses out on an important touch there, and Alanis has got a breakaway and a demo at that. A ball goes central, perhaps we'll see a shot on target, touched away by the own attack, and that was not what they were looking for.
It was not what they were looking for at all, and the counter-attack almost coming back to hurt them as well. The double commit on that shot could have cost them dear there, as it was pretty open on the back line. Now at the other end, Cans with a clear, but it's over the top of is that WHT Alley? Witali? Wet Alley? Help me out here, Psycho.
I like Witali. We'll stick with that. Sounds good.
Witali, yeah, I think that sounds good. Cans, has he got the shot? He does, but Marbles diving across the net, able to make the save. But for Ocean, they're a goal down with 30 seconds left on the clock, and they are firmly penned in their own half at the moment by this.
Yeah, and they're not entirely in blue water yet. They're not completely seeing green, getting through to the second game just yet, and they're going to have to hold out for a little bit longer as Ocean looking to sustain this offense and get a real opportunity on the boards before the clock has well and truly ticked down, and they're going to do that in the same style they have done all so far in this game number 1, which is just aggress that one player forwards, lunging for those demos and hunting for those opportunities at the back line. And Faxon is going to try and be the final player to do something about the scoreline at the moment, but Abyss doing very well to hold on.
Faxon had a really good opportunity there, but sadly the ball first touch wasn't quite good enough, bounced off the front of his car, and that saw the end to game 1, and ultimately it was that very early conceded goal, I have to say, that was the difference maker. Everything after that point was very closely fought. Abyss perhaps had more of the offense, outshooting by 9 shots to 4. Ocean forced into making 5 saves, but it was close. Ocean are absolutely in this. I feel like they could quite easily turn around and go, you know what, we're really going to take the fight to you here and win the next game. So have to see how that plays out. Abyss are going to get the first one, but do not count out Ocean just yet. Got to remember as well, Ocean nice and warmed up after that previous series, a 3-0 sweep as well, so got to be feeling confident about themselves.
Yeah, and it's important you touch on that as well. If you didn't catch the previous matchup, Ocean swept their previous oppositions in absolutely dominating fashion, even as far as the last game being a 4-0 established very early on indeed. So Ocean is the team with the recent history, the recent successes to back their name, and Abyss not quite with that similar level of track record, but that's not going to stop Abyss from trying to do the unthinkable and top the team, which just swept the previous just as easily as that, and hopefully for them they can continue pushing forward as they have done so far.
Yeah, I'll talk about a little pattern as well that is personal to me, in that every series that I've casted, I'm often on this round 2 slot, just because of work and stuff, as we see Josh put in another very early goal for Abyss in game 2. But every time that I've casted this round 2, the team that has started in round 1 has gone through to make play-ins. Now, is that me? Is that a curse? Is that the fact that the team that won in round 1 is warmed up? Who knows? But it's a pattern. So are we going to see Ocean come back here despite losing game 1 and be victorious by the end of the series?
Well, I think if that pattern is true, a bunch of these teams in the RSC leagues are going to be contacting you for your services and paying you healthy sums just to progress through.
No, they don't pay me. For legal reasons, they don't pay me.
Okay, for legal reasons, it's obviously just a voluntary piece of humbleness from our man Orion.
Kindness of my heart.
It truly is, especially if you're not accepting pay. That's a wonderful thing to do. Anyway, Orion.
We haven't seen any opportunities since that opening goal. Kind of similar to the previous game. It was that first goal, and then the match wasn't really punctuated by much else. It's a trade off in midfield, and we briefly have a 2v2 on our hands. Is the ball going to just trickle in? Yes, it is. Making use of the fact there was one less player on the field to defend. Marvel's just opting to go quickly for that one, and the shot didn't even need to have that much power behind it. Just had to put it on target, and George, despite the respawn, could not get back in time.
Yeah, and it spawned from a real throw of possession from Abyss, and a second player just creeping up that little bit too far. Fortunately for them, even though they established that early lead, they're playing catch-up, it seems, for the rest of the match, and that's a pattern we saw in that first game as well. Even though they tucked away that early goal, they seemed to struggle towards the tail end of things, and hopefully for them, not a pattern that continues, as Alanis now in the corner is going to dance past one. Another demo to open up some space for Motion. I'm not sure how many times I've seen that so far, but it's definitely countable on maybe 2 hands. There's Cans. Good job, that rhymes. Touches it to the corner, back to Marbles, swinging it back in field, and possession firmly rooted from the orange team at the moment.
Alanis with a nice pass back towards Faxon, who I thought was going to pop the ball up, but with a loose one now. Alanis in the air, showing off her mechanics, but not able to make anything work. Marbles onto the backboard. Feel like he maybe just could have shot that one. The defense was a bit panicky, just jumped at it a bit too early, and now right back at the other end. Vitali is going to punish. That was a counter attack and a half. Just picks the ball up off the bounce. I don't think Alanis had much boost and was being chased by George as well. So I don't think anyone was going to be saving that one. And we find ourselves at a familiar scoreline here. 2-1 for Abyss. We've got half the game left. And Ocean were not able to come from behind and win the previous game. And it's going to be made even harder now as off the kickoff with Vitali picking it up and flicking it over the last defender.
Yeah, Vitali's done a great job there, and the goal prior certainly putting in a shift for his team at the moment. And both of the occasions he's had those breakaway opportunities, the last one from the kickoff and the previous spawned from a counter-attacking opportunity and a bump on hand as well. Both of them, he's been a player that's really taken his time and, you know, stretched up the defense thin and forced their hand before doing anything rash and putting a shot on net. So very well played to him. And for Ocean, well, they were playing catch-up last game, but I think this is a little bit more difficult, a little bit more time. It's, well, not enough time for them to do what they did in the previous game, I think, Orion.
Yeah, and I think the catalyst behind that as well is Abyss taking a step up. Won the previous game, and it was really all on Ocean to try and match them, but the opposite's happened here. Abyss have found another gear here, and I feel like 3 goals could quickly become 4. It just seems like the defense for Ocean isn't quite as strong as they are offensively, and they're getting very limited opportunities on the side that they want to be on as well. So hurting them quite a bit at the moment. If they can start to break out of their own half, control the boost situation, control the midfield, then they'll definitely have a lot more success. Once they get into those goal-scoring positions, they do tend to be clinical, but it is just breaking through the midfield and getting there that they're struggling with.
I think you're absolutely right. They need to push through this midfield line and create some mayhem where they used to be, right in that offensive zone. We saw statistically earlier that Ocean's certainly a team that is on the offense a lot, more goals to their name than they have conceded by quite some margin. And you flip the script a little and look at Abyss, it's completely the other way round. And at the moment it just seems as if Abyss are in their element, controlling the tempo of this match.
I feel like Ocean as well, they're almost playing Abyss's game. Abyss is just very happy to sit on the midfield, half rotate, and just be a nuisance on defense. But I'm not quite sure how you counter that. Maybe just try and slow the game down a little bit, just take the ball into your own hands, not give away possession quite as much as they have done there. Just set up a shot for cans. Just maybe take some touches, look for your teammates on defense. Doesn't always need to be a one-man show to try and clear the ball. It feels like, though, Abyss at the moment are just smothering them, seem firmly in control, and it looks like they're going to be on match point here, Tycho.
Yeah, and early on as well, it's been completely dominating for Abyss, but that advice you gave, I think you're absolutely right in saying it. They do need to slow the tempo down just that little bit more. Play for those 50-50s and play within the space they have. Don't just pump the ball forwards into the opposition's end and recycle the possession straight back. But those worries that we have, I guess, are going to have to be answered the next game around, right?
It's going to need to be a reverse sweep for Ocean, staring down the barrel of elimination now. Abyss look in fine form. We thought maybe that Ocean would start the series off strongly, coming off that 3-0 sweep. Maybe a little complacent. I don't know. If you've won that emphatically, you're maybe feeling a bit overconfident. Who knows? But yeah, Abyss look to be the force to be reckoned with at the moment, and Ocean are going to have to step it up in the next game. First game in a reverse sweep attempt is probably the hardest one to win. If you can win one, build some momentum, then I think it gets easier the closer you get to that game 5. But I feel like we could be heading towards an Abyss clean sweep here.
It's very much possible, and something that we haven't touched upon so far, actually, is how Ocean aren't actually using their full roster, their full strength, their full potential coming into this matchup. They are missing their key player, Hayes, who is away today. And of course, they have, I believe it's Faxon who's stepping in for the occasion. And so far, I don't think it's been a player which has cast a shadow upon the team. I really do believe it's been a team effort which has led for this Ocean side to be so far on the back foot.
No, I think you're completely right. You wouldn't know they were playing with a sub. Like, they're not playing bad. That is the thing. I have no real kind of critique of Ocean's performance here. It just is that they are up against stronger opposition in Abyss, who just look dominant at the moment. So sometimes that is just it. You play at your best, you don't make any mistakes, and still you're beaten by stronger opposition. And I think that's just what we're seeing here. It
may be what we're seeing for the rest of this series as well, as Ocean At the moment, they are fighting for their tournament lives. A reminder, this is the lower bracket. This is potentially the final game that Ocean will have for us on the RSC channel. At least for this season, it must be said, as Josh working his way into the corner. Marbles firmly rooted there to get a high touch. Alanis now, a dangerous commit, is going to beat her own teammate as well. Surely the shot's going to come through, but blocked away by Marbles.
Yeah, that was a dangerous double commit, just highlighting perhaps some miscommunications on defense, which has definitely been the weak point for Ocean. Look good going forwards, but the defense has always been a bit shaky. Harness getting bumped off that one. Cans might be able to get the shot. It's a slow one, but Marvel's off the inside of the crossbar with a beautiful save to keep us scoreless here. That was just an unreal display of mechanics. Maybe he didn't need to go for it, but +1 for style points.
Oh, +1 for style points, but I had to wince. I had to absolutely just close my eyes and hope the job would be done for the sake of our entertainment for the rest of this evening. Marbles, he had so much boost in the tank, opted for the squishy save and just about clawed it out. A simple double jump would have been enough, but nonetheless, that little bit of confidence has kept the scores even for now, potentially, as the ball's going to crumb across to Faxon. It's going to get blocked away by Watali. A player who's done so much for Abyss so far and is looking to be the offensive powerhouse perhaps in this final potential game as well.
Yeah, it seems like, I think the biggest thing that is hurting Ocean at the moment is they are a very boost heavy team. Alanis especially, quite boost heavy, and that was an open net just as I mentioned her name. That one needed to go in. Cans is looking for the air dribble. Is he going to go all the way off the crossbar? And they have survived this one, but the boost situation is pretty dire for Ocean. I've also noticed a lot of near post rotations as well. They're just not picking up those smaller pads in front of the net by rotating back post, and that's hurting them as well, just solely relying on those big boosts in the corner, and so often Abyss are just stealing them away. So unable to break out of their own half, and Abyss are just punishing them with very, very clinical shooting.
Absolutely, and it must be so hard for Ocean to think of how they can change up their play, because they're known as a team who's aggressive and yet they can't break into the offense whatsoever seemingly. And for a lot of teams, what that leads to is just these brash overcommits from out of nowhere and this desperation style of play. But at the moment, Ocean certainly finding their footing. I'm not sure what's happened to the Abyss defense in that situation, but like I said, Orion, Ocean still firmly planted, their feet to the ground.
Yeah, I think Blame can be put on Cans for that one, going for that corner boost. Happens all too often. You see the big shiny thing in the corner and realise you've got...
No!
Oh, no. Do you want to take this one?
Oh, I can do, but I'm not sure. Oh, let's just move on. Yeah,
We'll move on. That is an unfortunate one though, because that was the first time they had a lead in the series, and I mean, what a painful way to lose it. Is Faxon going to make up for it here? For the musty flick, maybe? He was definitely rotating his car backwards like he was going to try for a musty flick, but I think ultimately didn't have the boost in the tank. He's going to make the save this time. Keep us tied at 1-1 here, but Abyss go on to win this one by a goal now. It's really going to feel bad for Ocean, but thankfully they have got their noses back in front here with a goal from Marbles. Vitali, no boost. Marbles able to cut inside and just tuck it into that far left-hand corner. So disaster potentially averted, Psycho, but we do still have 1 minute and 30 seconds left to run.
the question is for me, can they hold it? Because it seems every time they even put a goal on the board, there is something crucial. There is something which really shouldn't happen, which does on the end of Ocean. So here's hoping they can hold on that little bit longer as Alanis strikes for the upper 90, but it's just saved away and is going to dart back, half rotate straight back in to try and get another shot on target. Really hoping they can keep their feet firmly planted on the floor, like I was saying earlier. And Ocean, from out of nowhere, have once again secured a goal which maybe shouldn't have made its way in.
Yeah, Kansas last man again, just pushing up a little bit too far forwards, and that one going to be pushed straight over the top by Marbles. So Abyss's defense not as strong as it has been. Thankfully, though, they are on match point, so they do have a bit of a cushion here to make mistakes, and it looks like this game is going to go the way of Ocean, and it is a crucial win for them as well, facing elimination here. Series will go to a 2-1 scoreline, but Ocean still have a bit of a mountain to climb. Got to win another 2 games as well as this one. I think this game isn't even over yet. Alanis forced into a save at the near post. 30 seconds left on the clock, but Abyss haven't looked their normal aggressive Game 1 and Game 2 selves here, Cypher.
I think you're absolutely right in saying that. It's just been those clumsy errors on the back line in desperation, perhaps, to see themselves across the finish line. And it's been something we've seen a couple times in these play-ins and playoffs over the weeks, where teams, they find themselves just one game away from succeeding and pushing themselves through to the next round, or potentially even a series end. As Abyss, 2 seconds left on the clock, it's not completely impossible for them. As I was saying, it's often we see teams that can't push themselves across the finish line, and perhaps this is one such example.
Oh, we'll have to see. 3 seconds left. Could be a kickoff goal here. See how it goes. It's a pretty even one. The 50-50 in the midfield. I don't think anyone's going to get to this, and Ocean have avoided elimination at the first time of asking. Going to have to do it twice more here. And looking at the stats in this game, I thought Abyss were quiet on offense. If anything, they were even more vocal. It was 12 shots for Abyss compared to only 4 from Ocean. But Ocean that time, seems like the defense definitely tightened up there. 8 of them were saved. So Ocean really starting to make things work for them on defense. It didn't feel like it watching the game. Maybe it was just a little bit haphazard and a little bit sloppy, but if it works, then it works.
If it works, it works, but usually not the key to consistency, unfortunately, and that's exactly what this side needs to find. That, you know, a single game of pushing yourself across the finish line and avoiding getting knocked out of the competition isn't enough. You have to do it twice more, at least, and even then you have quite some work to do in that lower bracket. Plenty more games for either of these two sides to come as we make our way firmly into game number 4. There's a lot of questions to be asked for both of these teams, Orion.
Yeah, there is. I think the bigger ones are being asked of Ocean, though. Can they complete this reverse sweep? Not if you're going to be almost scoring own goals like that. Just call it opening stage nerves. We've seen some very early goals from Abyss in game 1 and 2. This time, is it going to be an early goal for Ocean? Why, it's the redirect. Able to make contact, and now can't wrap his car around the ball to generate the power. Straight back down the other end. Doors missing on the wall. Defense should be able to collect themselves. Alanis, not even fast enough for that when you talk about Alanis as being so aggressive and so quick, and even she is getting outsped. Maybe just Abyss just reading the ball better. Sometimes it's not necessarily about speed, it's just about prediction. Where is that ball going to be in the next couple of seconds, and just getting there before your opponent, rather than reacting to, oh, the ball's going that way, I'm going to chase after it.
I think you're absolutely right, as we're going to see Abyss. I was thinking the defense might be able to creep themselves up in time, but nonetheless it is once again that playmaker downfield, Watali, getting the job done for Abyss and opening the score sheets early on for Abyss. And we've seen this not once, not twice, but 3 times now, Orion.
Yeah, well, that cherry picker was straight out of custom training, wasn't it? That was a lovely little aerial, using the air roll to great effect as well to just get around that ball and get the angle, and the defense just not reacting to it in time, not respecting that player up there looking for the redirect. It is going to hurt them as 1-0 down. If it stays like this, they will be eliminated. Will Ocean. Still Abyss continuing to hunt for more goals here. Cans with an infield pass. Vitali with an absolute banger to the wall, to the top corner. Saved away by Alanis and turned away by Faxon. Abyss generating some really potent opportunities here, constantly asking questions of the defense. Seems like they have returned to full form here in game 4.
They have indeed, but I'm questioning how long Ocean can keep getting away with their positioning at the back at the moment. It looks so crumbly, and even though Abyss are 1 ahead, it could have been 3 to the good or 2 to the good for Abyss, just because of that looseness on defense from Ocean. And if there is a time to change that, definitely now, as there's, well, coming up to half the game left for them. What can they create from thin air? At the moment, they don't even have a foothold, it seems, as Faxon is going to drop it down to Marbles, who's cutting across to the centre of the field. Is not going to beat the last man in Cans, though, who blasts the ball back downfield. Alanist waiting patiently on this backboard for a change. Flips forwards, gets an extra touch on that one, but Cans straight back into the orange half.
Faxon now not able to get the clear. Just doesn't seem like they're really able to clear their lines, although it's a lovely task from Marbles to Faxon, looking for the 1-2, but too close to the defense. No clear coming through on the side of Abyss now, though, and Marbles onto the backboard. Nobody up there with Tully. Missed that one. Alanis onto the backboard again. She could have taken the shot there, but gone to the backboard once more. Maybe a little bit too spread out on offense, our Ocean at the moment. They're putting the balls onto the backboard and asking questions of the defense, but it's just no follow-up. You see Faxon there as third man, going all the way back, perhaps just a little bit too nervous of what Abyss are capable of in the midfield, but in doing so, they're just giving them way too much time and space on the ball.
I think you're absolutely right. When Ocean do find themselves in the offense, I'm always seeing that third player peel back for that back boost. They are not confident in staying upfield and supporting those teammates on those little pads. They're always chasing the big ones. And unfortunately for Ocean, it's certainly hurting their opportunities at the moment, as Abyss once again taking the driver's seat in the orange half, and Josh just going to provide some positional pressure. Done very well indeed to force the hand of the defense to get a 50 as well, as another ball goes high, cleared away by Faxon.
Just hanging around in the Ocean half as we see 1 minute remaining. Plastered across the screen. That is 1 minute remaining for Ocean's tournament lives here. We are in the lower bracket. Are they going to get a goal here? No, Marbles with 0 boost. It just seems like they do all the work, break out of their own half, get so far, and then just run out of gas. It's the boost situation that's hurting them now. If they can get upfield and get a little bit of boost, is that one going to be stolen away? Alana's left with absolutely nothing in the tank and is just forced to back off into that third man position. 20 seconds left. It seems unlikely at this point. We're going to need a real grandstand finish to even just send us to an overtime here. Alanis opting to boom this one long. Marbles looking for the touch onto the backboard and gets it. But where is the follow-up? The follow-up was not there, Psycho.
Oh. You're right in saying it, and this might be the final opportunity. And I'm going to say it is the final opportunity, and there's absolutely nothing that Ocean can do, unfortunately, in Abyss. They were the team with the greater amount of consistency, and on the day, certainly proving themselves worthy victors.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that Abyss played badly. I think they can be very happy with their performance there. It was just Abyss played better Rocket League. That is it at the end of the day. They were outclassed, and I think Ocean can actually go out of this loss with their heads held pretty high about that. They looked consistent. It was just very, very minor things that, you know, only you or I, people that have played the game for a number of years, would be able to pick up on and go, yeah, that's where they're going wrong here. So fair play to Ocean, but ultimately Abyss, I would say, worthy victors. They just had that bit more consistency. They were a lot tighter in their play, especially on offense. So congratulations to them, and they will be advancing to the Master Playoff.
Yeah, and congratulations to them. But I think once again it's worthwhile pointing out Ocean were using a substitute in that match. Not ideal circumstances for them. And unfortunately for them, that could have been the factor that came back to haunt them, as in their previous 5 games before this matchup we saw on stream, Ocean didn't lose a single one of them. They didn't lose a single series in league play in the last 5 matches they played. It was win-win, draw-draw, win for them. Ocean on an absolute tear, but falling down at the final hurdle.
Yep, they have, but that is going to be all she wrote for round 2. I'm going to quickly look at what we've got coming up for you in round 3 after a short break. Let me just get my fixture list up. Where are we? Master. We will have Fenrir going up against who's that? Iovi.
Iovi.
Spell Iovi.
Who
Why,
comes up
why
with
do you
these
guys make it
names?
so difficult
Why,
for the
why
casters,
do you do
man?
this to us? You do realise that your name has to be said at some point. It's all well and good looking good, but we have to say these. Have some sympathy.
So yeah, that will be our match coming up shortly after the break. Fenrir versus AOV. EO, oh, for God's sake. In a best of 5. That is in the upper bracket though, so neither of those teams will be on their last life. But you're not going to want to miss it. Do not go anywhere.
Feel me in the darkness. Like shadows, they follow you like an accomplice. Lost all of your dreams, the night is heartless. My shadows, they follow you. My shadows, they follow you in the darkness.
Like a Hellcat.
Was it the voice? Was it the fire burning in me? All of the noise turned into choirs of harmony. Left me with the pieces of forever that you broke. But since you left me alone, I've been high.
Back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun.
monsters out your window. No, you can't sleep, you pretend though. You don't have to play the hero. 'Cause I got you like you got me. When the earth shakes, when the bombs scream, until our last breath, every heartbeat. Even if you just can't survive, oh, I want you dead or alive. Started as a whisper, message from a new world I'd never known. Something about it felt like it'd been waiting my whole life. Is this home? I can hear each sound calling my name, and I feel angels around when I start to sing, and suddenly it feels like heaven's not so far away. Tell me, can you hear the symphony? Panic, panic, I can't help but think that it's meant to be, that I'm finally right where I'm supposed to. If I let you into the secret, would you listen? I can hear each sound calling my name, and I feel angels around when I start to sing, and suddenly it feels like heaven's not so far away. Tell me, can you hear the symphony? Panic, panic, and before too long I found where I belong. I can hear it, I can hear it, oh, I can't stop the rush, every note I touch, I can feel it saving me. Tell me, can you hear the symphony?
One life like this. Let's live it up.
Hello and welcome to RSC EU Master Play-ins. This is our third and final game of the night, brought to you by Badass, Luna.org, Metify, and HyperX. I'm just Jamie, and tonight I'm joined by Tavish. How you doing, Tavish?
I'm doing fantastic, Jamie. I'm here for Master Playoffs, just like you. And, we have the final matchup here, and we got Fenrir taking on Iovi, the first upper bracket matchup. So, hyped to cast this one.
Yeah, indeed. I genuinely cannot wait for this. I was watching the previous two games as well. I thought we were about to see two sweeps. I'm very happy we didn't as well. We got to see some really good gameplay by both teams, and I can't wait to get involved and get this going. We've got Fenrir, who's second in the Ignis, and Iovi, who are third in the Glacies, about to come up against each other. Tavish.
Yeah, exactly, like you said. And, if we're going to take a quick look at those team stats, Fenrir 45 wins, Iovi 47 wins. The loss is not much difference there. 27 to Fenrir, 25 to Iovi. But if you look at goals scored, Iovi definitely scoring a lot more goals, but also conceding a lot more, with 169 scored and 136 conceded. And if you look at Fenrir, 131 scored, 105 conceded. Yeah, might prove that Iovi is a very offensive team, but doesn't focus that much on defense. But if you look at the saves, 276 saves for Iovi and 226 for Fenrir. So difficult to really take a guesser on how Iovi will play, because they are very aggressive purely based on these stats. But they can also play really defensive.
Yeah, indeed. Fenrir are actually coming off their 5-game streak with 2 draws, 2 losses, and 1 win. Iovi, on the other hand, 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. So Iovi have kind of they've got a little bit of a head start in the mental game here, since they've been playing quite well in their last 5 compared to Fenrir. Well, we'll move over to the player stats in just a moment. The loser of this game actually will go ahead and play Abyss, who we just seen beat Ocean in the previous matchup. Ocean, who ended up sweeping the first matchup of the stream as well. That is the player stats up. Now, 2 players that I'm going to say that we need to look out for here, one from each team. Hugo. He was the goal scorer and savior for Fenrir. And for Iovi, Taylor, also the goal scorer and the savior. So those are the 2 I'm going to say that we should be keeping an eye on, Tavish. Especially, I think it was Taylor had way more saves compared to Hugo when I was looking at my stats earlier. Now they're up on the screen again. 98 saves, Tavish. What a defensive brick wall they must be.
Yeah, definitely. If you're looking at Taylor, like you said, 98 saves to the name. That's just insane. Definitely if you look at the rest, Brad only 68, Felix 45, Dav 52. So a huge difference there between the players. But if you're looking at the Fenrir side, we have Pads playing, and he only played 7 games so far for the Fenrir side, so could prove interesting. A player that not played that many games so far with the roster. Maybe he can step up here in this series and prove that even though he has only 7 series to his name, 3 goals, 4 assists, does get 12 saves, might prove an interesting player as well next to Hugo, who obviously is, like you said, the striker and the savior for the Fenrir roster.
Yeah, I think I think this is going to be a tough one for Fenrir. Like you said, Pads playing with them. Pads not obviously only having the 7 games. I think it is going to rely on Hugo, who has been the MVP for the majority of Fenrir's games. I think Fenrir are going to have to be relying on them quite a lot. Now, we do have both teams ready. We are going to get them to join just now. Fenrir over in the blue, Iovi on the red, pink, however you want to call it. We are on Manfield night, and we are getting ready to kick off. Let's get down to it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, Fenrir, Blue, Hugo, Pats, and Detroit. Iovi in, I think it's going to be the pink this time. Taylor, Brad, and Dev. It's going to be very difficult to call a win here, or one team that will sweep or something. The result, you're still playing second against third from 2 different conferences. But, game 1 will decide. But like we always know, game 1 doesn't mean everything. A team can win game 1 and the other team can win the next 3 in a row. But if you have to call it now, Jamie, who do you think will take this series?
You know what? It's very tough to say. I'm going to go with Fenrir, to be honest. You look at these players at the moment. That's a great shot from Pads right from the get-go, showing just why you won't be able to see it on the screen, but Pads actually has the CRL 2022 World's Contender title at the moment. So, they've obviously got to be a great player. And it has been. We will get more out of the game now. It's been quite a slow start, backwards and forwards. It's been a couple of shots out for Fenrir. Pads trying to get the ball across the front of the net just there, and now we have Dab tries to hit the ball across, but it goes as far as Hugo. Oh, Brett just misses that. Hugo misses the bump on Dab. Dab with the big flick to try and get it clear, but only goes as far as Detroit. All does not seem to be leaving Iovi's half at the moment, Tavish.
No, Fenrir definitely having the upper hand so far in the first minute and a half of this game, number 1. And, only 2 shots so far, and they are both from the Fenrir players. Iovi doing most of the defensive work, 2 saves to the name as well. And you're looking for Iovi. When will they find opportunity to finally break out of their own half, apply some pressure onto the other half of the field? But just like this, it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening anytime soon. Detroit gets a beautiful bump, looking for an opportunity. Pats straight afterward with the follow-up. Hugo taking his time here and denies the ball into midfield. Look, now does find the backboard, but no follow-up just yet. Everyone from the Fenrir side, no matter how awkward they are in position, they do manage to get that ball into the other half. For some reason, great opportunity for Dav there. First time that we do see Iovi in the offense, but it will be saved in the end.
Yeah, indeed. That was the first shot as well, coming from Dav. Good save there by Hugo. Dav now passing the ball into the middle. Hugo once again coming in to get that ball out of the box. Goes over to Pads. Drops down to Detroit. Detroit tries to pass it off to Hugo, but the ball comes straight back to them. Now Taylor is on the ball, fighting in the corner there, but Hugo comes charging in. Dav takes the ball to the other side of the field, but it goes as far as Detroit. Oh, Taylor dives in just there. Dav is there to get a clear over to Hugo. Hugo and Taylor, 50 in the air. Hugo back on it, tries to get a shot on target, but he can't. Detroit now hits off the backboard. Taylor with a big demo on Hugo to relieve some of that pressure. Ball now in Fenrir half time.
Yeah, and in the beginning we saw that Fenrir was definitely the most aggressive team in the first minute and a half, but now that we're entering the final minute and a half of this series, or it is game, I should say, it doesn't seem that Fenrir is that much in the pressure anymore. Iovi is slowly clawing their way back here in this game, and yeah, they're still doing most of the defensive work, but they're also controlling midfield a little bit more than in the start, and I do think that Iovi has a very good chance to score further if they can slowly keep building this momentum in the favor. Quick shot here by Taylor will be saved by Pat in the end, but slowly we'll see Iovi become more comfortable in this game and taking more shots on target.
Yeah, definitely. Iovi are actually getting a lot of demos, and just as I say that, Hugo with the shot but saved by Taylor. And Hugo with a big demo, pass from Detroit over to Pads. Pads takes it up into the air. Detroit tries to get a touch. Taylor with the save. Hugo comes in, but Taylor again making sure that ball gets knocked up high. Ball hit the backboard, but Brett is there. Clears it only as far as Detroit. The ball hasn't left the Iovi side yet. Hugo passed down to Detroit. Detroit, unfortunately, that is wide. Brett with a very important demo. And now Iovi are on the counter-attack. Can Brett get anything here? 30 seconds left on the clock, Tavish.
Yeah, we see Dev in the corner, look for an opportunity, does find Taylor in the end, but no follow-up just yet. Hugo trying to find Pats. Pats does manage to get a little touch in the corner, but no boost to make anything happen straight after it. Dev leaves the ball for Hugo in the end. Hugo, quick shot on target, will be wide, and it's an easy clear for Taylor. Looking for follow-up, does try to find Brett in the end, but Pats will be in the way. Final seconds ticking down, 0 seconds on the clock. Will the ball touch the ground? Yes, it will. Game 1 overtime, and no goal scored just yet, Jamie.
No, not yet. This is a close game for match number 1. We've had 6 shots coming out from Fenrir, 4 for Iobi. And the ball still sitting in the Iobi half, it seems. See Dab trying to get the ball away. There's a little bit of a double commit by Pads. Hugo there. Fred with a big clear, but Detroit catches it, takes it into the corner. Hits up, but Taylor managed to intercept. Clear from Pads. Fred hits off the sidewall. Hugo intercepts, hits it high. Dav is now up. Ball hits off the ceiling. He gets another touch. He's low boost though. Pads now getting the touch into the corner. Detroit. Big clear down towards Taylor. He manages to get a touch, hits it high. Get back to it. No, Pads is there. Now Dav off the sidewall. Low boost. Hugo is there. Oh, that ball from Bread goes straight back to Hugo. Ball's still sitting in the Iobi half as it now just leaves, but it looks like it might come straight back into Iobi's half, Davish.
Yeah, and you know, one thing you're definitely noticing here in this game number 1, and definitely here in this overtime, no team wants to overcommit just yet. Everyone is just playing a little bit safer, because obviously you're going into overtime in this game number 1. Dev might have an opportunity, Pat's just back in time. And that's the first real opportunity for a goal. Dev now trying to apply some more pressure with another shot on target. Iovi does look like they will take the risk of the first out of these two teams. But Fenrir, if they can hold the defense, then it's not done yet.
No, not quite yet. That long range shot from Dav is saved by Detroit. Now Hugo trying to get the ball out of the Fenrir half. You see Iobi being a lot more aggressive this half. They're getting a lot of demos, but the rotational play by Fenrir is just way too good. They're honestly pretty much perfect at it, trying to keep the ball out of their half, just getting big clears. Not only when they're getting clears, they're also finding teammates that are still up in an attacking position. Detroit managed to get past one, a little bit of a scramble for everyone there. Fred manages to get a touch take over the side. Pads stays in the pocket, trying everything they can. Hugo now with the shot, but Dav is there. Yeah, Fenrir being a lot more aggressive now. Hugo is now last back. Hits that high with Taylor, intercepts over to Pads. Pads managed to hit that straight up onto the ceiling. Detroit now, going off the corner, get another touch. Fortunately not, it was a save by Bread. Hugo's coming in fast, can't get that touch. Oh, that ball is now in Fenrir half, Tavish. That's a shot,
no.
A touch. No.
Oh. And it was so close of an opportunity, because the net was wide open, but luckily for Iovi, one of the players was just back in time. Detroit now trying to keep the pressure. Pads in midfield, does get a touch to the wall, but no follow-up just yet. Taylor, Def, a little bit of a double commit there, but they do manage to keep the pressure in their favor. Ball now all the way into the other half. Brad in the corner. Not the best of touches. Detroit infield pass. Quick shot on target from Pats. It will go in. And Fenrir take game 1.
Yeah, what a lovely pass there from Detroit. Soft into the middle, straight to Pads. Hits it towards the upper left 90. And goes straight in. 1-0. In overtime. I didn't even see how much overtime we had there. But if you look at the stats of the teams here, 8 saves by Fenrir, 9 saves by Iovi. You know, yeah, Hugo, 5 shots on net, Pads with 4, Detroit with 2, and Detroit getting that very important assist over to Pads to become MVP.
Yeah, and you know, this proves that this series is going to be so interesting, because, like you said, 8 saves Fenrir, 9 saves Iovi, but also if you look at the shots, 11 for Fenrir, and only 8 for Iovi, so a lot of shots here, a lot of pressure for both teams. I definitely think we're going to see very much overtime here, and if we're going to see a game ending in regulation. It will be really close with probably a 0-second goal happening at a certain time. But we had more than 1.5 game there already, because it was a 3-minute and 17-second overtime in game number 1. So if we're going to see more of that here in the rest of the series, then this is going to be a long series with lots of shots, loads of saves, and great Rocket League.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there as we get kicked off. Again, Fenrir from the start are on the attack. Now we're playing match number 2 on Forbidden Temple. I completely agree with what you were saying earlier about the about how in this matchup it's probably going to be very, very close. I can see it being a 1-goal game if it is done in regular time. And there we go, great pass over at Pads back to Hugo.
No way!
What a team play! 32 seconds gone. Just look at this, Tavish.
Oh, and I thought Hugo was a little bit out of position here to actually manage to take the shot, but he flips at the perfect time, makes contact, and the defense did not expect it. 1-0 lead for Fenrir after 32 seconds, and already a change up from game 1. And I do think that Fenrir, now that they've got that first goal, and not only in this game, but also the first goal in the series when they managed to take the overtime, they're feeling more comfortable in their capabilities to just dissect Iovi. And now Dev, all the way to the other half, finds the equalizer over the defense.
Yeah, you see Dav, great flick. Hugo can't get up in time. Extra touch to put it further to the left so Detroit can't get there. They were so close, but within the first minute, we are in a tie game scenario. Just shows just how close these two teams are from their respective divisions.
They definitely are. Pat's bit of an awkward spot, but does manage to get a clear. Quick shot from Brad, and Taylor looking for a dunk, but doesn't get it in the end. They have not the best to clear here, but in the end, Taylor managed to make contact. Bit of an infield pass, wrong team making advantage of it as Pats try to take a shot. Fake here from Taylor. Dev will get the credit for the goal. Beautiful play here, and Iovi in the lead.
Yeah, I genuinely thought Taylor got the touch there, and I think everyone was reading a possible touch, but they just couldn't get back in time. That's an unfortunate miss for Detroit, who was last back there. But we are kicking off again. Iovi have seemed to have woken up a bit. They're getting these long clears. They're keeping the ball out of their half. Their rotations are definitely a lot better. And just as I say that, Fenrir are actually on the attack. Hugo going for the little air dribble, gets it past one, takes onto the backboard, but met by Taylor. Tries to get it clear, but only goes as far as Pads, who hits it off the corner. Straight over to Dav, who is low boost, but manages to pick up the 100 in the corner. Up again, manages to dump Hugo away. Pads manages to make a very solid 50 there. Now Detroit is on the ball, low boost. Taylor intercepts, is in the corner, goes to try and bump Pads off the wall. Unfortunate miss there. You can see one by one the Iovi players coming in to challenge that ball when they can, rotating straight out, trying to get a bump, trying to get a demo. And just some really good rotational play there by Iovi, Tavish.
Yeah, Detroit now looking for an opportunity. Manages to find the backboard, will bounce down, almost a shot on target, will be denied by Taylor in the end. Dev doesn't make contact after it, but Hugo is already there to keep the pressure in favor of Fenrir. Great clear all the way into the Fenrir half. Taylor first one to follow up on it. Does find the read from the wall. It is a 3-1 lead for Iovi.
Indeed, see it, big clear there. Taylor off the corner over Detroit. Manages to get the read and just slips that ball past, and it goes right into the back of the net. 3-1. I think Fenrir just need to wake up a little bit. They were doing really well in the first half. In the first match of the series even. And Iovi are just starting to play a lot faster, picking up all the small boost pads, trying to get passes across to each other. And there's Bread now on the attack, trying to get the dunk on Hugo. They don't, but they do get the bump. Hugo managing to get a save. Pads now on the ball, trying to get a flip reset. Pads is now backwards. That's a good position by Dav. Goes over to Hugo. Hugo with the shot, but Bread with a very important save. Can Pads get there in time? No, Pads had 0 boost. Dav gets a big clear down the line towards Detroit. He tries to hit it over to Pads. 2 up there. Now this is the moment for Fenrir to shine, but no, Taylor with low boost. And Bread with an important demo. Passes it off to Dav. Dav gets a goal. 4-1. Describe this play for me, please, Davish.
Taylor here having a beautiful moment. Gets the infield pass, fakes off Pads by thinking to get another touch, and then Dav, easy follow-up from him because Pads backflips. He expected that extra touch from Taylor. And that's how it's done in Master. You just fake out one, and then your teammate is there to follow up immediately after it. But one thing I definitely noticed, and while I'm talking, of course, Pats, why not? Hugo leaves the ball for you, and you just drop it down 4-2. Still in favor of Hugo with beautiful play here.
Yeah, you see Hugo goes up, catches the flip reset, uses the wave dash on the ground to pop that ball up off the backboard. Pads is there, straight past the 2, sitting on the goal line, and there's only 2 goals in it. Can Hugo do it again? They're up in the air. No, a challenge by Bread. Pads and Taylor with a 50-50. Detroit with a high ball, goes off the backboard. A little bit of a team bump there by Ovi. Hugo is up. Detroit is trying to get in the way, and they get it. Little Doomsy off the backboard. 1 goal in it. Wow.
And I thought he couldn't get this angle because Taylor made contact, and Taylor did get a little piece of the ball, but just not enough to make it awkward for Detroit. And, you know, easy read for him at that point because he read that ball perfectly from the moment it was going towards that backboard. 1 goal differential right now. Dav looking to make it 2 yet again, but the woodwork will deny him in the end. Taylor keeping the pressure will be denied by Pats. Hugo makes contact, try to leave for Pats, but Detroit just in time to get that clear. Pats now looking for an opportunity. Does find the angle straight down. No follow-up from Detroit. Taylor with the clear, and Hugo has to back down and respect that one of the players from IOV is already there. Does get a clear in midfield, but Taylor straight up denying anything from the Fenrir side. Pats not the best of touches, and it's an easy clear for Dav into his own corner. Brad with a beautiful follow-up. Detroit trying to keep the pressure. And in the first half we saw IOV the most aggressive team. And now Fenrir slowly waking up. 20 seconds ticking down. Can they tie it up here and force an overtime? Or will IOV be too strong, JB?
Oh, I don't know here. Taylor is in defense all by themselves. Gets the flip reset. Tries to use it, but Pads is there. 5 seconds left on the clock. Fenrir need to wake up here. Dav tries to get a dunk there. Taylor's just going to knock that ball down to the ground. IOV take game 2. Now, that looked like IOV was taking that one home all day. But in the last minute and a half, Fenrir just woke up. Hugo again with 5 shots, 8 in total for Fenrir. Only 2 saves there. IOV, they have 7 shots, 4 saves. That was so close. Dav, definitely the MVP there with 3 goals, 2 saves and 4 shots. But Taylor, 2 very important assists, Tavish.
Yeah, Taylor doing a lot of work. Only getting 1 goal as credit for it. But the 2 assists that were made by her definitely made it easy for Dav to put in those goals. And, you know, we called it at the end of game number 1 that every game will be a 1-goal game in the end. And just like this, where we thought IOV, who was up 3-0 and eventually 4-1, like, it's an easy run in the park for them. But Fenrir, they brought it back. They managed to get the 4-3 with only 30 seconds left. In the end, IOV, they focused a lot on defense and managed to take the win there in the end. But it definitely proves that Fenrir, even though they're down, they can bounce back. They just need that little edge in the end to force that overtime. But they came so close here in game number 2.
Yeah, they really did. They really seemed to pull every single trick they had out of the bag. That flip reset, wave dash to pop it up by Hugo was insane. As he hits it high. Now Fenrir on the attack again. Pads in the corner. Has a full tank of boost. Can't get the ball past 1. Detroit's going to have to come and cut this. Stop that ball entering their half. He takes a shot.
Woo!
Great thing by Taylor. Pads is there. Brett is there. No, Dav gets the save actually. Hugo tries it again. Oh, unfortunately, Dav is there with the 50. Pads trying to get the pass across. And there we go. Detroit with the shot. No one's there. Can Pads get there in time? No, Brett is. Hugo making a good rotation back. Is that ball going to just bounce in? No, Dav with another save. Already got the Savior medal within the first 30 seconds. And you can just see Fenrir was all bunched up at the same side there. That was some really strong offensive, but just as good defense there by Iovi, Tavish.
Yeah, and in the first 2 games we saw Fenrir have some great moments, but they woke up in game number 3 and chose violence in those first 30 seconds. A lot of pressure, a lot of shots on target. Another shot on target by Detroit will be saved by Taylor this time. Hugo looking to keep the pressure. Quick infield pass, no follow-up just yet. Detroit again with the shot. Hugo has to wait because he has to. No, he notices Dev is there to deny him. Taylor now into the other half. First time we actually see Iovi in the offense. Brad looking for the backboard, leaves it. In the end, great read from Taylor, and it's a 1-goal lead for Iovi.
Yeah, look at Taylor here. Detroit pops up. Brad again goes for the double. Knows Taylor's up for it. Pulls himself off. Taylor is up. Slams that one home. We have 1-0. 1 minute 19 gone off the clock. Fenrir were looking good at the start. Iovi just as good, and they were the team that has managed to sink a goal. And now we see Iovi on the attack again. Brad tries to take it into the air, but Taylor now has the ball to Detroit. Detroit off the ceiling. Decides to leave it. Hugo passes back to Detroit. Tries to hit that in the middle for Pads, but Pads rotates out from Dav's shot. Now Pads on the ball, interrupted by Dav there, I think it was. But Detroit is up. Tries to chase that down with boost, try get a dunk. 2 up there by Iovi. Ooh. A lot of hesitation here by Fenrir. It's not a strong pass by Hugo, unfortunately. Detroit fails to get a touch there. Dav, now on the attack. Can he get the touch? Well, Pads is there to get a 50. Red hits it high. Goes off the backboard, but is 50'd in midair. Pads now on the ball. Low boost. Oh, avoids a demo as well, but unfortunately Dav comes in. Demo's Detroit. Gets the pass down. Taylor with the shot.
So close.
Pads can't get that ball out the corner. Detroit has to come in, but Dav is there. Taylor with the bump. Hugo stands their ground. Red back on the ball. Tries to pass it in the middle. Pads is there. Oh, low boost here for everyone, I think it was, as you see Iovi decides to opt to rotate back, reset, and start trying their attack again. Now Fenrir is on the counter attack. Pads, can they get there? They can indeed. 1-1. 2 minutes 9 on the clock, Davish.
Yeah, beautiful play here. Hugo and Detroit making the infield pass work in the end. Defense did not expect Detroit to still be there and get a little bounce of it. I mean, it's an easy shot for Pads. He gets in free, open net in front of him. Tie game. And I was just thinking, will we see a repeat of game number 2 where Iovi is just dominant the entire time and Fenrir in the end will bounce back? But not this time. Fenrir, they tie it up in the final 2 minutes of this game, and Detroit already looking to take the lead. Dev doesn't make contact. Taylor will in the end. Hugo now trying for some opportunities. Does manage to get a little piece here on the backboard. Doesn't manage to get it in front of yet just yet. Pass not the best touch, and Taylor can take it all the way into midfield. Will be denied by Detroit eventually. Bums off Dev. Hugo can't make contact. Leaves it for Pads. Not the best of touch there. Dev follow-up, does hit crossbar. Dev eyes an open net, but doesn't make the read. That was the best opportunity for Iovi to take the lead back, but maybe the nerves settle in just a little bit too much, and then it's just an open net is your worst enemy. That's what I always say, and Dev probably had that same issue there. Taylor now looking to create another offensive attack for Iovi, but Detroit will deny. Hugo. Beautiful pass. Detroit looking for the redirect. Does find backboard. Hugo already up. Looking for the double. Doesn't find it. Pats. Can he make something happen? Does find the backboard yet again, but Dev will deny.
Detroit keeping that ball in the corner. Dav's now got it. Tries to flick it over Pads, but fails. Pads hits that up to Hugo. That's going to hit off the post. Pads is back there. Hits off the crossbar and down. Brad's trying to get the clear. Detroit is up. The ball still has not left the Iovi half. Hugo and Detroit are in the same position. Paz tries to hit the ball top right, and they get it. They take the lead. 37 seconds left on the clock.
First we see an open net whiff on the one side, then we see an open net miss on the other side. But in the end, Pat says, I see one small spot all the way into the far post, but I'm going to shoot it right there over the 2 defenders, and he does it perfectly. Fenrir in the lead again. 33 seconds left to play. And now comes the question, can Iovi bounce back just like Fenrir did in the previous game? Brad looking for an opportunity, finds Dev in the end, but Pats will deny. Detroit a little bit awkward here. Pats, great follow-up from him, 3-1 lead for Fenrir.
Yeah, look at this. Dav turns onto that. Detroit tries to get a little bump on Taylor. Paz comes swooping in with the boost. Knocks that one straight home. I think everyone wanted that goal. They seen the open net there. It looked like there were 3 cars all diving for that at that moment. But what a turn of affairs for Fenrir. They've come out strong here. And just as I say that, Detroit pops that ball up off the backboard. There's a chance for another 0-second goal. And it looks like he got it with 4 seconds left, actually, Hugo there. The little pop-up off the backboard by Detroit, Tavish.
Yeah, Dev, not the best touch here. Hugo, beautiful shot straight after it. 4-1 lead for Fenrir with 4 seconds left to play. And, you know, game 1, 3-17 overtime. And in the end, Fenrir take it. Game 2. 4-3 in regulation, and then Iovi take it. But here in game number 3, it's not a close game. It's a 4-1 victory, Jamie.
Yeah, we've had 2 very close games, and this one was a bit more of a shutout. Pads definitely being MVP there. 14 shots by Fenrir. They've only had to make 1 save that game. That also came from Pads. Got the hat trick too. Iovi, unfortunately, 3 shots, only 1 of them went in. They had to make 6 saves during that. Unfortunately, 6 saves was not enough. They could have done with 10 for a 1-0 win there, Tavish.
Yeah, and now comes the question, can Iovi bounce back? Because in game 1, everyone was just trying to feel a little bit, okay, how are you going to play? How are you going to play? What do we need to do? And then in game 2, Iovi found the answer first. They became real aggressive, caught Fenrir off guard. But here in game number 3, when you thought, okay, Iovi has an opportunity here to go into match point. But Fenrir, they found an answer. They became even more aggressive. They solidified their rotations. And definitely they controlled midfield the best out of the 2. Now, game number 4. Fenrir, they're on match point. Iovi, they need to get this win to force the game number 5. Do you think that Iovi has the opportunity and the skill to bounce back here, Jamie?
I think they do. I think there's a very high chance we can actually see a game 5 here. But they played a lot less demos there. Just like to say that Dav shot, Hugo has to make a save within the first 10 seconds. There was a lot less demos. There were a lot more aggression from Fenrir as well. So Hugo bangs that ball straight across. Now, Dav is on the ball. Tries to get that past Hugo. Fortunately, doesn't. Brad takes a shot by Pads. Yeah, just as I was saying, you can see Iovi being a lot more aggressive in the start here, but still making small double commits, small mistakes. They're all rotated on the same side there. Pads and Hugo both don't go for that, and I think that's going to cost them a goal. Oh, the third man pushed up to try and get this. Hugo tries to get a bump. Pads out of position. And, yeah, that ball is just rolling all the way home. 1-0 within the first minute there.
I'm actually confused how that went in. But IOV is not complaining. They get basically a free goal there. They're in the lead here. Game number 4. Hugo and Pats linking up beautifully here. Bounce shot from Pats will go in. Tie game straight after that little debacle in favor of IOV. And now Pats, beautiful reader after Hugo drops it on backboard. Fenrir answer very quickly. And it's a tie game with after just 52 seconds.
Yeah, that was a brilliant goal there as well. What a read. Hugo trying to get the pass, hits that high, Pads is up. Fortunately, can't get the double, but Dav is there. The ball bounces off the sidewall. Now Bread on the attack. Is that on its way in? It was, but Hugo stops it. Hugo now on the counter attack. Fortunately, no boost to follow that. Taylor on the ball, intercepted by Detroit, who also steals a corner boost. Pads, MVP of the previous game. Unfortunately, Dav is there. Oh, what a play. Double commit, though. Bread's got to try and keep that ball away from the front.
All the way.
And Dav, very important save. Oh, it's a bit of panic. Bread gets absolutely bumped to outer space there. Now Hugo on the attack. What a bit of play there that was, Tavish.
Oh, and look at Dev just right there on that opportunity. He felt so confident in his own abilities to get that read from the backboard that he actually went up for it. Love to see it here in the Master Tier. That some of these players, they think like, we can do the most mechanical stuff, and they actually go for it. Detroit now looking for an opportunity. Gets removed by Brad, but Hugo keeping the pressure for Fenrir. Not a great opportunity here for Pat, but does manage to make it really awkward for the IOV defense. Brad has to stretch a little bit to actually make contact. Pat beautifully waiting there. Infield pass. Great shot by Hugo. Will be denied by the woodwork. And Pat's a little bit awkward here. Taylor looking for an opportunity. Hugo, not the best touch. Managed to get a shot. A bump here from Pat on Dev, and it's almost in their net. Taylor looking for an opportunity. Gets denied by Hugo. Fenrir really pushed her on the defensive line as everyone from Iovi is putting shots on target. First real clear all the way into the other side in like the past 30 seconds. Dev leaves it for Brett, gets denied by Hugo. And now we finally see the players taking some time to actually read the ball and maybe finally set up some team plays.
Yeah, that was a great bit of delay there by, I think it was Dav, slowed right down, baited a player in, tried to get the ball, a great pass across. But unfortunately, it came to nothing. We're a minute 40 left on the clock. Fenrir are now on the attack. See, Detroit, low boost, hits that ball high, positions yourself behind it. Manages to get a touch, it goes over to Pads. Pads get a redirect? No, unfortunately not. Taylor now tries to make a counter-attack happen. Can't get it. Detroit is up. Gets a 50 with Bread. And, yeah, it seems to be a low boost battle in the corners between both teams quite consistently here at the moment, Tavish.
Yeah, boost is definitely a holy thing in this game. Because everyone's going for boost steals, but they're also using a lot of boost. But Taylor here doesn't have any boost, but does have an open net. Luckily for Fenrir, Pats is just there in time to deny the opportunity. Now, great shot from Dev on 0 boost, puts it above the defense. And Iovi in the lead.
Iovi, yeah, they take the lead with 56 seconds left to go. Just wow. Wow, what a very close game this is. I did say I think we can see a game 5. The way Iovi have been playing this time, I can see it happening. And just as I say that, Pads is on the attack off the ceiling, but Taylor gets a big clear. Hugo is there, hits that high, but Dab over to Taylor. Taylor pops it up. Brad is chasing, trying to get a dunk, but Pads hits it over to the sidewall. Hugo now up. Fortunately, Hugo misses. Pads just gets a small pop, only goes as far as Dab. Now Detroit coming to try and get a big clear. Doesn't get a touch to the ball, but does get a big demo on Dab, relieving a little bit of pressure there. Taylor. Oh, that's okay. That's well wide. And what a very important save there by Taylor as well, Tavish.
Oh, I thought just like you that she was leaving it, but in the end she did get the save on the goal line. Taylor now looking for an opportunity, trying to kill as much time as possible. Detroit still want to get a shot on target. Managed to not make any contact. Hugo a little bit awkward here. Ball will touch the ground. No, Detroit will keep it up. Pats looking to keep it up as well. Hugo now 0 boost to work with, but managed to drop it in midfield. Taylor makes contact. Ball will touch the ground. Iovi take game number 4, and we will see game number 5.
I did say we will see game 5 right at the start there. 9 shots from Iovi. And 11 shots from Fenrir. 6 saves from Iovi. 6 from Fenrir as well. That was insane. Dav totally popped off there with 5 saves, keeping his team alive. Just wow. Wow, we are going to go to champion field here, Tavish. I can't wait.
And I really hope we see a Champions Field overtime, because that's like the best there is. Because why only have just a game number 5 when you can have a game 5 overtime? Both teams just scoring a lot of goals in the regulation. In the end, you'll see an overtime, and then both teams have to play on the best of their capabilities to get that golden goal. And if the script is written in the right way, then we'll definitely see that. But Fenrir and Iovi, they both want to take it in regulation, because I don't think they want to have the stress of being in that overtime scenario But now I'm going to ask you a very important question. Who of these these 6 players do you think has the most will pop off here in game number 5?
You know, the 2 people that I actually were saying that we should watch, Taylor and Hugo, it's got to be one of them.
Okay.
I think it's got to be one of them. They've got to prove why they've got the most games for their teams, why they've got the most saves, why they've got the most goals. Don't get me wrong, Pads, Detroit, Dav, Bread, they've all put in some amazing work so far. There've been some really good passing plays, really good team plays, really good team rotations, things like that. But I think when it comes down to it, we can't rely on like individual play that has been coming out from these other players. Just as I see that, I see that pitch, and I thought that was going straight in there. I was like, my hand over my mouth, David. You know what? I'll shut up now. Right, and again, nearly see another goal. Detroit carrying it away. Dav now, but Pads keeping that out. Just there's so much pressure anytime the ball's up. Oh, there's no one back. Pads picking up a little bit of boost. Unfortunately not. Detroit now with the shot. It's off the post and out. Brad has to go on the counter attack, but bumped away by Detroit. Taylor trying to get the clear, and it's just back and forward. Tavish, I can't. Wow.
Yeah, both teams just throwing everything forward to take the win here in game number 5. Brad, beautiful clear all the way into the half. Pats makes contact before it touches the backboard. Taylor now has a lot of boost work with, goes from the ceiling. Tries to find an opportunity. Dev follows up, a little bit of a powered shot, and it will go in near the front post. Beautiful team play here. Taylor drops down. Dev, immediate follow-up. Defense thought the ball was staying high, and they were counting on it as well. And Iovi score first.
Yeah, it's a great little passing play there between the 2. And they kind of fake, Brad and Taylor kind of fake each other, and Detroit out there. Pads does actually have boost there on the counter-attack. Taylor with a very important bump. Now Taylor picking up boost, knows Brad is there, trying to get the pass across, gets a double touch off the corner. Brad is there to intercept any clear that Hugo was trying to make. Now Hugo just trying to get a big clear. Taylor pops up over to Brad. Taylor goes up, quickly drops down. Brad trying to bounce it up and high. Now Fenrir back on the attack. We're coming up to the halfway point here. What can Fenrir bring to the table in terms of goals? As Pads, good flick. Taylor's there though.
Oh, Detroit looking for the backboard, does find it, but no follow-up from anyone of the family. Like, great redirect from Hugo! How did he get that angle? Pats gets the pass, and I thought Hugo was just gonna put it back in midfield. But he's like, nah man, I'm gonna score it. Puts it perfectly in between Brad and the post. Brad can't do anything. A little bit of help there from the woodwork. And we have a tie game here.
We do, just over halfway. Detroit last man back, big clear there. Brad and Taylor sitting in defence for Iovi. Pads now on the ball. Unfortunately, Pads low boost. Hugo, huge clear, but bangs it as far as Brad, who pops it high. Detroit is up to catch that. Now Pads trying to get the touch. Intercepted by Dab. Pads low boost. Taylor. Pads and Dab all fighting the corner. Detroit comes in, fancy a nibble. Hugo deciding to sit close with the play as well. Dab low boost, trying to get it past anyone. That's a great demo by Taylor on Pads. Dab is zero boost though, can't do anything.
Ooh, bit of a double commit there between Brad and Taylor, but there's no harm done just yet. Detroit looking for an opportunity, does find Brad on the goal line. Hugo, great shot on target, straight follow-up from him. Will be wide, and yet Pat's trying to keep the pressure. Does have the read, but will meet Brad just before that. Hugo now looking for an opportunity. Manages to test the defense a little bit. Pat's no boost to work with. Same for Hugo. Everyone low on boost and trying to get something in their tank to actually keep the pressure going. A little bit of double commit here again from Taylor. Great shot from Detroit, will be safe from Brad. And Fenrir, they look like they're in the driver's seat right now.
Doing the unfortunately pads did not have enough boost there to get a flip reset. Taylor and Dav kind of double committing on that ball there. Detroit now low boost opts to hit it off the backboard. Pads comes in with the shot. They take the lead game 5. There's 45 seconds left.
And now comes the question: can IOV bounce back? A little bit of awkward touch and rotation after it from the IOV side. They concede, and like I said, 45 seconds left. 2-1 lead for Fenrir. IOV has to throw everything forward without overcommitting to get a goal back. Brett looking for an opportunity. Finds Pat in midfield and Dev with the straight follow-up. No opportunity just yet. Taylor alone in defense beats out Hugo. But Detroit already there to keep the pressure in favor of Fenrir and to not give IOV any opportunity to create something of an offense. Hugo looking for the backboard. Can he have the double? Yes, he can. Not in the right direction. But Detroit trying to look for a follow-up. Doesn't make contact. Pat straight after it. Detroit looking for the redirect. Will get the touch, but will not go in. 10 seconds sticking down. Taylor looking for an opportunity. No boost to work with. Does get a flip reset. 0 seconds. Can IOV make something happen? Brad looking to keep it up. Dav managed to get a touch as well. Hugo trying to kill it. Find the backboard. Will it touch the ground? Yes, it will. Fenrir take game number 5.
Fenrir taking game number 5. What a close series that was. GG's been said by all into the chat right now. Pads being MVP of that game. Pads is going to be my individual MVP, even not MPV, MVP of that series as they take that 2-1. What a series that was, and what a way to end the night as well. See some love yous in the chat there as well from the players. Great camaraderie between both teams there as well. Giving everyone a little bit of in the little player chat right at the end of the game there.
Yeah, and we called it at the beginning of the series. There was a big chance that was going to 5 because we had the number 2 and the number 3. And it's the upper bracket. You're not there without any reason. And, IOV Fenrir, they both deliver beautiful goals. And, definitely one goal that will be sticking with me is the redirect from Hugo in game number 5 to tie up that series. Beautiful shot there from him. And I think that either one could have taken it. In the end, it was Fenrir. But if it went to overtime, then probably IOV could have taken it. It was such a coin toss between these two teams. And, man, I gotta agree with you. What a way to end the night here.
Yeah, 100%. Our loser there, IOV. They are going to be playing Abyss in the lower bracket. Abyss are... They're going to have a very, very tough game. IOV put up the pressure there. They took game 2 and game 4. Let's go over how the series went. So we started game 1. It was very much a tie game all the way through regulation. Then we had, 3 minutes 17 seconds of overtime in game 1 for Detroit to end up get the winning goal for Fenrir. Then we go into game number 2, finishes 4-3. Now, that was a very, very in the favor of IOV all the way through. At one point, they're sitting 3-0, then it goes to 3-1, 4-1, and in the last minute and a half, just like that, Fenrir come back, get another 2 goals, and unfortunately, they couldn't get a 4th to tie it up, and IOV take game 2. We go into game number 3. Now, that was a Fenrir a little bit of a stomp there. That was 4-1. Pads getting a hat-trick. Detroit there getting a hat-trick of assists as well, getting the Playmaker badge. We then go into game number 4. Dav comes in with the MVP there. Dav getting 2 MVPs there for IOV, I need to mention as well. 2-1, very, very close game. And as I say, right at the end, 2-1 to Fenrir as well. It was an insanely close series, Tavish.
Yeah, and while we're letting something all those score lines, we only had one real blowout, and we all thought game number 2 would be a blowout in favor of Iovi, but Fenrir bounced back. But then in game number 3, like you said, 4-1 scoreline in favor of Fenrir. They, out of nowhere, they just became so aggressive. They scored so many goals very early in the game. Iovi couldn't find an answer. Still, I thought it was a great series, and this just proves how close Master Tier really is here.
Yeah, that was our third and second place teams. That was Fenrir second place in the Ignis conference, Iovi third in the Glacies conference there, and yeah, Fenrir now in the upper bracket of playoffs. We will see who they will be playing tomorrow as we get kicked off with 3 more matches of the Master play-ins, and I can't wait for it, Tavish. I really can't.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to our chat before we leave?
Well, obviously, thanks everyone for being here and for watching this great series between Fenrir and Iovi with us. And a quick correction on you there, actually. We do know who Fenrir is going to be playing. They're going to be playing Fearless Alpha on Saturday. So, interesting series already there in the upper bracket. But we still have to find out who Severin is going to be playing tomorrow. And that will be someone between Heck and Sub-Zero. And, if we're going to look at... I'm just hyped for tomorrow as well to see who of these teams will make it through. But for tonight, we are done. And I actually wanted to have some more series. I like it.
Yeah, I could have even sit that and watched another game, Tavish. I definitely could have. I'm going to say that is all from me. All from RSC EU. We've just had some of the Master play-ins brought to you by Badass, Luna.org, Metify, and HyperX. Don't forget that we do have merch on our store. Just click our links and socials. You can see it in our chat right now. Give it a click, have a look at the store, cop yourself a mouse pad or something like that. And yeah, I've been Just Jamie. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much to Potter as well for broadcasting for us. And that's all from me. Goodbye.
We only get one life like this.